Welcome, beautiful goddesses, to Teach, Travel, Talk. I am Megan, and my mission, goal, and vision is to help guide you through the crazy journey of life and of being a human and having this human experience. Because until we realize that we are the creators of our reality, we can either make life very difficult for ourselves, or we can make our world incredible. But it's all about how we perceive our world and the world around us. So this is for you. Yes, you, the one listening, so that I can uplift and empower you to look within yourself and find that inner light, love, guidance, and intuition that will lead you to unbecome who the world told you to be and bring you back to who you were meant to be and who you were supposed to become in this life. So let's dive deep into conversations that will bring you teachable moments to implement throughout your daily life and to help reprogram the way we think.
I am really excited to talk about this topic for this week. It has been something that has kept appearing in my life, and I feel that it is something I am really passionate about, and that is my love for teaching. This past week, I have been able to get back into teaching. I applied a while ago to be a substitute teacher, and I finally was called in, and it just reminds me how much I love teaching. Being back in the classroom, being back around kids. Obviously, this is a very strange time, so everything is not the same as, teachers are used to. And before this, I was teaching online, which is very difficult, especially for young students, and having to sit in front of a screen for that many hours. I believe kids should not have to sit still for very long, and the fact that our whole system and even, parents just want their kids to sit down and be quiet. And that's not what kids are here for. Kids are here to have fun and, enjoy their youth, enjoy learning about the world and observing the world and just getting to experience being a human. And I want today to be, some teachable moments for maybe some parents, for some other teachers, or for anyone who is around kids a lot, that I can kind of help guide you when it comes to helping children. Because for me, being a teacher, I see myself more as a guide, as a resource for my kids, no matter how old they are. They can be little young ones, and even adults. I feel that everyone should be treated the same. And a really big thing that I always come across, and the first thing I love to tell people, is that we do not give kids enough credit at all. They are so smart. They're so intuitive. And the fact that we break them down to not allow them to make choices, allow them to make mistakes, and ultimately allow them to be who they want to be, not who you want them to be, is such a huge lesson to learn for anyone. Is that kids, no matter how old they are an individual person that enjoys doing different things with their life, and their purpose on this earth is going to be very different from your purpose. But allowing kids to find their own purpose is one of the biggest things that we can do for them is allowing them to be who they are. And again, not who we want them to be. So that is definitely the first thing when it comes to just interacting with kids. Not treating them like these babies. They are, but, speaking and communicating to them as an adult, just as me and you would speak and talk to each other. We don't need to dumb things down for kids. They are very receptive, and when you are able to speak to them like that, then you are teaching them those skills to be able to communicate with you, to be able to express themselves freely. And that is a big thing for kids, is being heard, being understood, being listened to. And I think it's hard for us as adults and as we get older, thinking that we know what is right and we know the best way to do things, the best way, to do everything. And that is just nonsense, because we are still humans. We still make mistakes all the time. We're still figuring everything out. We still don't make the right decisions all the time. But it's allowing kids to know that it is okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make the wrong choice. But we need to learn from them and not make them again. The biggest thing I do, especially within my classroom, or even if I'm just hanging out with kids, is I always want to express how I am not always right, that I can be incorrect sometimes, and that they can talk to me about that. If I'm doing something wrong, if they think, I'm not being nice, whatever it may be, giving them that freedom to say, hey, look, even though I'm an adult, I don't always make the right choices, and you can call me out on them in a constructive way. And it makes all the difference, because I learn so much from the kids around me, and I think that's what we need to start doing, is learning from our children, learning from these younger generations, because kids just have this innocence about them, this pure love, because they come from a loving place. We are the ones that unbreak that love and put in negativity and put in these bad habits. And unfortunately, it's because we were never taught how to do these things. So instead of breaking that cycle, we tend to, give these things that are not helpful tools to our kids. So it does start with us, and like I talked about last time, it is all about being mindful, and it is a hard job, and we tend to forget a lot of times that being mindful can help our children in so many ways, and even teaching our kids how to be mindful. Bringing on to that, I think one of the biggest thing with kids is teaching them about emotions, teaching them about feelings, and giving them positive outlets to, get through different emotions, get through different feelings, and allowing them to acknowledge how they are feeling, and telling them that it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel all these different things. But what is not okay is to sit and to stir in it, and it's not okay to project onto other people and make other people feel that way. And, a lot of people I meet who are parents who are doing an amazing job with their kids, at very young ages, they are starting to teach them how to be mindful and how to sit, take a deep breath, because a lot of times when my kids in my classrooms get very overwhelmed, they start crying, freaking out. Sometimes I'll pull them out of that situation, but I just sit there and I say, okay, let's breathe together. Let's take some deep breaths, because at this moment in time, I cannot understand you, so I cannot help you. And, some kids will just be like, hey, I want some time for myself. No problem. But hey, if you want to come talk to me afterwards, that's no problem. So it's, listening to our kids and seeing those frustrations within our kids and being able to be that help, that guide to find solutions for them. Another really big thing that I come to is, and this is all about us controlling our kids, is not giving our kids choices. I'm not telling you to have your kids make a million choices a day, but when they feel like they are in control of things, they do tend to want to do them more. So even if, let's say bedtime, you don't have to, have a big gap, but you can say, hey, would you rather go to bed at 8 o'clock or would you rather go to bed at 8:10? Very small amounts of time, that's 10 minutes, but it's allowing that child to make a choice, and you're giving them that choice, for what they want to eat. Give them two choices. Would you rather eat this or would you rather eat this? But when you just give them one choice and you say, you must do this, that's not helping them to be able to look at situations and be like, actually, what is it that I truly want right now? And as they get older, then they can learn how to express those emotions better and express what they want, what their needs are. But as they are younger, it's teaching them that they do have choices, that they don't have to just do what you want them to do. And I think, obviously, it is really hard for parents, even for us teachers, to, again, think that kids can make the right choice. But every time that I sit and I talk and, explain things to kids, they're so resilient and so, brilliant, to be honest. They are so brilliant if we allow them to be, if we give them the guidance, and if we believe in them. Trust me, they will blow your mind. And I'm really glad that I have found this patience. I will say I found this patience within myself, because I will say a long time ago, I would not have had the patience to deal with kids. I would have yelled at them, screamed at them, told them to be quiet. And it's really great, especially when I meet other amazing teachers who implement, the same kind of structure that I do within my classroom and with the kids that I teach. It's so amazing, and seeing how big of a difference that can make for these kids, and helping them create this environment of growing and awareness of themselves and aware of what they're doing and the words that they're speaking. It's just awesome. It really, really is. And the biggest thing I think happens when we do have kids is we forget to ask ourselves a lot of the time, who did I need when I was a kid? And looking back and realizing that we were once a child, and how did we feel when people did certain things, or told us maybe to be quiet, told us we weren't good at something. It didn't feel nice, and I feel that kind of made us broken adults, and it's something that we need to work on. And I do get it, our past generations, there's no instruction manual to raising children, and I know that people have done the best that they can at that moment in time, what they were capable of doing. But I do believe that now, in this day and age, especially the resources that we do have, we can make this next generation, be an incredible one, be one that is very mindful of themselves and very mindful of the world around them and how to be the best version of themselves. But it starts with us. It starts with us adults and how we interact with kids and how we treat them, how we talk to them. But a lot of that is, going within ourselves and teaching ourselves these techniques and these amazing things so that we can help these children become rock stars in this world. So a really big thing that a lot of parents do tend to ask me is how they can help their children. A really, really big one, I would say, and something we, tend to just kind of overlook, is spending quality time with our kids. And I know that a lot of people say, oh yeah, I spend a lot of quality time. But do you really spend quality time? And do you spend quality time doing things that they like doing? Or are you making it about you? So I think that sometimes we forget that kids don't like adult things. They love to be children. They love to play. And that is the one thing I absolutely love about being around kids is I get to bring out my child inside, and I will never lose my child inside. I love playing. I love making up stories with them. I love, seeing how their minds work, and it allows me to get my mind working as well in that creative child aspect of life. And so I do believe that is the biggest thing kids crave. They crave your attention. They crave spending that quality time with you, even if they become teenagers and you think that, they hate you at this moment in time. Honestly, a lot of it is they just want to connect with you. They want to see you as a human, as a person, and not as someone they have to hide from or run away from or, put all their bad energy into. So it's creating that space for them to be able, one, to express themselves freely and to find things that you can do together. And again, letting them make those choices, not you just saying, oh yeah, we're gonna go to the park and that's gonna be our quality time. Or are you being engaged with your kids? Are you on your phone? Are you not listening to them? There are many things that we think that we are doing, but we tend to fail to do when we are around our kids, and they pick up on so much. And that brings me to my next point, is how much kids absorb and how much they pick up on different things that we don't even think they pick up on, like body language, on your energy. So a lot of times people are like, oh, we don't fight around our kids, we don't do this. Your kids know. Your kids know because you wear it right on your face. They can see that tension between you guys, that, turmoil between anyone. They can pick up on it. And I will say this, and this is something, I've said to a lot of people actually, never stay in a toxic relationship, whether that is the person that you had this child with, because kids pick up on these toxic relationships, and you are setting an example that this is okay. And that is why many people tend to fall into these abusive relationships or into similar situations that their parents are in, because that's what they grew up seeing, and that is what they think love is supposed to be. And that's not what love is supposed to be. So, as much as, people want to stay together, I do believe that it's actually harming your child more if you try to stay with someone you are no longer in love with, someone you are fighting with, someone, that either one of you are being abusive towards each other verbally or physically. Those are things that you really need to get out of for the sake of your child, because that is going to bring a lot of trauma for them. It is going to bring, a lot of issues in the future when they are trying to, be in relationships, and they're not going to know what a healthy relationship is. And it is really hard to take a step back and seeing those behaviors and the different things that we do as an adult that actually can really harm a child and really affect a child's upbringing. Even just the words that we say to them is a really huge thing. I cringe, and I try really, really hard not to do this to kids, but even just shh, it drives me nuts. I hate doing it because I really don't want to silence a child. I don't want to make them feel like their voice is insignificant and that they never want to use their voice again. And a lot of times that does happen when we pressure kids, when we, put them, on display for everyone. Some kids just don't like that, and then you will make it so that kid never does that again. It's like you're punishing your child instead of rewarding them for doing something. So that does bring me to a next thing, is being, and this goes back to communicating with our kids, but being brutally honest with our children. I think, again, when we become adults, we think, oh, kids cannot handle this, we can't be honest with them, we can't be truthful with them, they don't need to know about my past, they don't need to know about me, which I think it's brilliant. I think we should be being honest with them. We should be telling them about our past. We should be telling them things that are going on. Because again, when we think that our kids are not smart, when we think that they cannot handle information, then yeah, that's your perception of it. But allow your kid to make that decision. Allow them, to tell you if they're ready to hear something or if they're not ready to hear something. And that is about communicating and teaching, our kids how to be healthy and how to express themselves in a beneficial way for you and for them. And again, I just think communication is a huge thing for anyone in any relationship, and it starts with our kids, and teaching them how to communicate effectively with people, teaching them the I feel technique. I feel sad because this happened. And sometimes, kids honestly can't say maybe why they're angry, why they're upset, but for majority of the time, they know exactly what it is. And they will let you know if you let them tell you. And I think that is the biggest thing, is having that safe space for them to come and tell you. So, because when you're not being honest to your kids, how do you expect your kids to be honest with you? And I think that is a really big thing for us, is always coming back to that. How do we expect our kids to behave a certain way when we are not upholding that behavior? And kids are very big on copying. They will mimic you, they will copy you, especially when they are young. And if you are not creating good habits, then they are not going to be having good habits. And a lot of times that is something we have to look at. Oh, I wonder why my kid is screaming at me. Are you screaming at your kid? Are you talking with a low, understanding tone, or are you screaming at them? Because they're gonna copy you, so you can't be upset with them when they are just doing what you have been showing them what to do for a very long time. And that's really hard, because then you're teaching them that they can't do anything, and that can definitely be detrimental to a child. But another thing about that is letting our kids make mistakes and talking to them about that, because again, we're all humans, we all make mistakes in life. But it's talking our kids through those and allowing them to, hey, it's okay, we make mistakes, but let's talk about that mistake. Hey, what do you think you could have done differently next time? What could we do differently next time? And having them talk it out with you, letting them again make that choice of, what they could have done. And trust me, they will come up with brilliant answers. You'll be like, oh my goodness, how come I've never asked my child this? And again, I do want to say, going back to a few of my episodes and creating these habits for your children and teaching them these habits, but finding habits that they enjoy doing, that they love to do, or let's say a routine, right? But letting them choose. Hey, do you want to wake up? Do you want to go for a walk in the morning? Do you want to do yoga in the morning? Do you want to just run laps around the house? And giving them those choices. Hey, do you want to take a shower? You want to take a bath? Do you want to brush your teeth in the shower, outside the shower? It's crazy when we just find different choices for them, and even allowing them to help us, and spending that quality time. A lot of times we can spend that quality time with our kids and get them interested in doing, chores, but making it a game. Having them help you cook, that's an awesome thing. But I think the biggest thing is also finding those things that your kids are passionate about and that they really, really enjoy doing and want to do more of. Because when you allow them to do those things, it stimulates their mind. And I think, especially let's say in the classroom, when a child is struggling in a different area, one, I do not believe that you should push that subject even harder onto them and make them do even more of that work. I think that is just ridiculous. I believe you should definitely find their strengths and allow them to do those, to do those majority of the time. And those things that they are struggling with, try to make it fun, to make it as fun as possible, because obviously it's a really difficult thing for some students. And again, I don't think we have enough understanding of being able to look at our kids and say, oh my goodness, you have some type of learning disability, whether that's being dyslexic or, having some type of there's so many different things that we're not even aware of that can, hinder a student, a child in the learning of certain subjects. And that's okay. We are not made to be brilliant in every single subject. Usually kids have, a few that they're so focused on and they're super talented at. And I think that we need to hone in on those talents and not make them feel bad for the things that they're not good at. But again, trying to find a very fun way to get them involved in it and not to see it as a challenge anymore. And a big thing with that, again, is showing them your weaknesses and showing them, hey, how did I overcome my weaknesses? Cool, I made it fun. I sing to myself. I make funny voices, or, again, I make it into a game. So finding all these different ways instead of just forcing a kid to sit down, shut up, and do what they want, what you want them to do, which can be very frustrating for kids and, again, can make them feel very anxious, can even make them feel super depressed. And the biggest thing going into that is teaching our kids what all these different feelings are, especially right now in this day and age. I don't know how many kids right now are probably feeling super depressed and super anxious at the same exact time because of the fact that they're not able to be around their friends, they're not going to school, they're stuck in the house, they're not being stimulated at all. And then they're anxious about the future. They're anxious about when they'll be able to go back to school, when all this will be over, what it's going to look like, how it's going to go. So I definitely feel like right now our kids are very, very fragile at this moment in time. And all we can do as adults is to help them through this process and to help and teach them through it all. And the biggest thing is teaching them about what depression is, what being anxious is, and that is, living in the past, living in the future, and not being mindful, being present in the here and now. And a great thing to do is to teach your kids how to check each other. Hey, can you let me know when I'm not being mindful, and I'll let you know when you're not being mindful, and then you guys can help each other. And again, instead of saying, you must do this and I never have to do this. What? My biggest thing, whether it is a teacher, whether this is, me managing other people, a really big thing that I always do is, if I'm not willing to do something, how can I ever expect someone else to do it? So sometimes it is coming down to people's level and, doing things with them, helping them through the process, helping them, find a different angle. And again, as a teacher, I'm a resource. I'm a guide. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to point you in the right direction. I'm here to guide you to find those answers. I will say sometimes I definitely help my kids a little too much. And another big thing that I do is I give A's for effort. I hate grading systems. I think they're stupid. I don't think that we should have them for kids. I really don't. I think it breaks kids' spirits. It breaks their hearts. It creates just really bad things for kids. I think we should definitely just be praising kids for doing something, for making the effort into whatever they are doing. If it's a project, a test, whatever, they should, not be discouraged just because they can't find the right answer. Especially, think about that. They're shoving so much information down kids' throats in such a short period of time and making it, you must know all of this. You must remember it all. And it always comes back to each child is their own individual person. Everyone learns differently. And a lot of people, me included, I am not good at tests. I get test anxiety. I cannot remember all that information. I don't understand when they, try and trick you in some of the questions. It's just crazy to me. Now, if you ask me some questions verbally, I could probably speak to you all day about it. And I think that that's our biggest struggle, especially here, everywhere around the world, to be honest, is that we have a one-way education system that is built for one particular person, and majority of kids are not in that particular category. And the fact that we treat all of our kids the same is crazy to me. And that we don't teach them to be individualistic and to have different ways of getting through different problems. We're only teaching them, nope, this is the answer, and it must be this answer. And you must get it the way I want you to get it. You cannot do it this way, you can't do it this way. It must be the way I want you to do it. And that's not teaching our kids to, be critical thinkers. And I do understand why it happens. This is we've created a horrible education system that was not meant for people to really succeed, for a majority of people to succeed. So I definitely, me as a teacher, I try to revamp how I teach kids and how I go about integrating new things. For me, I'm really big on finding how kids learn best. I take each individual student, I look at them, I ask them, I observe, and then I will give them tasks and I will teach them or help guide them in the way that is best suited for them individually. And I like to find things that kids like. I don't want to make this into, oh, I hate learning, I don't like this. I want to make it fun for you. I want you to be able to love learning. But my biggest thing is also allowing my kids to find the answer themselves. I do not want to just sit here and spew whatever my opinion, whatever I want to do. I love giving, again, my kids choices and finding what they are passionate about, what they enjoy doing. But again, always going back to teaching them these skills that can help them through not just learning, but throughout their life. And I don't think enough of us do talk about our mental, situations that we are in, and teaching our kids how to, have a good mental state. It's not something we've ever talked about. And the biggest thing is staying positive, because as humans, we do tend to focus more on the negative than we do on the positive. And that is something we have been taught. And when you teach your kids to enjoy those positive moments more, but giving them more positive moments and more positive language and, all these different experiences that are positive, you are going to create more positive outcomes and a positive person that is able to have healthy, relationships, have a healthy mental state. So it's all about helping our kids and not hindering them and being those resources for them.
And I think another really big thing that we tend to not do a lot with our kids, and it's something we definitely should practice to do, is apologizing to our kids and saying we're sorry for things that
we have done. Maybe, if we get angry and we yell at our kids, we should be the first persons to be apologizing to them and saying, hey, I'm sorry for speaking to you like that, because I don't think any child should be yelled at ever. I don't care what they are doing. I think, a big thing we forget too is to respect our kids. And I know, deep down it's not coming from like a bad place, but we do need to start respecting our children a lot more than we do, and respecting that they have feelings, that they are going through exactly what we are going through, and also really taking a look back and saying, am I behaving this way because of maybe my past traumas that I have not, fixed, and I am now projecting them onto my children? And that is something we need to be aware about, is our past traumas, reflecting onto how we are raising our kids, how we're interacting with our kids. And so I do believe that, it comes from us. It comes from who we need to be for our kids. And only by fixing ourselves and teaching ourselves how to be a better human can we then teach our kids how to be better humans. And it's okay that we mess up. And it's okay that, our kids want to go off and become their own person. That's amazing. And we should encourage that and thrive, help them thrive throughout this world. And I really do love that, kids are at this point where they are back home. And I think it gives us as parents, as teachers, an opportunity to do something different with our kids and teach them how to be mindful and show them that, throughout these crazy times, we can reinvent ourselves, we can adapt, we can change in a positive way. And I think even now more than ever, our kids truly need us. They truly need us to guide them through these tough times, because they are just as clueless as us. And I do believe that this is weighing a lot heavier on kids because of the fact that, not only are they not able to be in a classroom anymore in that type of environment, they're not being around their friends, and they're being stuck inside the house, and they have not been taught how to, do things, which maybe it is teaching them how to be a child, how to go outside and play, how to just observe the world, sit at the window and, take a look at outside and what's going on. And even for us to be engaged with them and finding projects for them, finding certain things to stimulate their minds, getting them books for them to read, asking them, to write you something or to make a fun project so that they can teach you what they've been learning. I think that is such an awesome tool, is being so interested in what our kids are doing. And another big thing that I definitely do in my classroom is I always pick someone to be teacher for a day. And it is amazing how empowered they are. They, get up there and they love being able to, help people or to say what they know. And I really try to encourage them to be a teacher, because I believe that we are all teachers. Whoever we are all learning from one another, and we are all teaching one another. And a lot of people I know say, I can never be a teacher. But you are a teacher. You are. And whatever you are projecting out into the world, that is what you are teaching. So that is when we need to look within ourselves and say, what am I teaching the world right now? Am I teaching the world to be kind, to be compassionate, to communicate, to set boundaries? Or am I teaching the world to be hateful, to be negative, to be cruel? And sometimes we need to just sit with ourselves and think about that. How are we in this world? Who are we? And how do we want to make a difference in this world? And that's such a huge thing for us to be able to internalize, and is being mindful of ourselves and being aware of who we are and what we are doing. And it's going to help you be able to help other people become aware and be mindful of themselves and how they are impacting this world. And I think my last thing I will say, and the most important thing, is teaching our kids to set up boundaries. I think that is one thing that is really big, because, even having boundaries with us, with parents, with teachers, all of that, and teaching them what boundaries are. And teaching them, hey, if you're not comfortable with something, you don't like something, speak it, say it, tell someone, because that is going to definitely set up these kids for success in the future, and to have really healthy relationships with other people, because they know how to set boundaries. They know what is okay and what is not okay, what should be tolerated and what should not be tolerated. So definitely let's start teaching our kids how to have these boundaries, even at a very young age, because kids do know what makes them frustrated, what they don't like. They don't like when, you say a certain thing, and they will let you know. And again, but it's about listening to them. And I hope that you can definitely sit here and see that, kids are super smart, and I really absolutely love teaching them, because they allow me to be a different type of teacher and not the way I always thought teachers were meant to be, because they will adapt. They do like to do things differently. They like to be challenged. And I don't like to treat everyone the same. I like to treat them as individuals, and I love to find their strengths, and I love to play on their strengths, because I see how confident they are in that. And I never want to break down a child's spirit. I want to lift them up. I want them to be confident. I want them to know that they are loved and that they are supported in everything that they do. And that is all we can do as adults, is be a support system for them and be here for them at every step of the way. And again, to just guide them through this life, and not to force whatever we want on them, but to allow them to be their own individual human being that is growing, and that has lessons in this life, and that has to go through whatever they have signed on to go through on this earth. And I think all parents are amazing. Again, we all have a past. We all have gone through probably some bad things in life, and none of us were given an instruction manual on life, on then how to take care of another life. But we can start now and learn and
and teach ourselves how to be the best human we can be, so that we can then create amazing little humans that are going to grow up and be incredible humans. And I just want to help you, and I hope that this can help you, because it's definitely something I love doing. I really enjoy teaching. I really enjoy being around kids. I love learning from them and just going back to, that innocence and not caring what people think about me, but just enjoying life to the fullest. And I always do that anytime I see a kid just dancing or singing. I start doing it because I want to get back in touch with myself. And a lot of us have lost touch with that side of ourselves. We've lost that child inside. And I believe our kids definitely need us more than ever to be connected with ourselves and to show them that we also are big kids at heart. And who wants to be an adult? I know I don't. It's hard, it's difficult, and you have so much pressure and so many obligations. And I don't want that. I want to be happy in life. I want to be mindful, and I want to have a great connection with myself. And I think we need to teach our kids more that, the number one goal in life should be to be happy. And we should just want that for our kids, for them to be happy, doing whatever they wish to do in this life, and supporting them no matter what it is that they choose to do in this life. So I hope that you can go to your kids and start talking to them, start listening to them, start spending some quality time with them, doing things that they love, turning all those negatives into positives, turning those horrible activities into fun activities that get them wanting to, do chores to help out around the house, but maybe making it into a competition, making it into something that they will enjoy doing. And, I think that we can all learn from our kids. So I definitely challenge you to start learning from your kids. Ask them to teach you something. And boy, if you open up your ears and you really listen to your children, you are going to learn a lot about life. And I hope you find that innocence within yourself, so that you can in turn help your children grow and change and become a happy, healthy person in life. Thank you so much for coming back to Teach, Travel, Talk, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of teaching our kids and teaching ourselves, because I've loved that this topic came to me, and it just felt like something I really wanted to share with you all. And I'm glad that I did, and I hope that even if it can just help one teacher, one parent, one adult to be mindful around children and to help them explore this whole other realm of opportunities that we have not yet learned or are still learning, and picking up and building up on these skills and these habits. And it's something that we definitely need to implement within our daily life and implement within our children's lives. And that brings me to my
final say for today. I do want to let you know about this amazing opportunity that I do have for everyone. I have created a workbook for all you amazing, incredible goddesses out there. And I hope that you can join me on my TEACH.TRAVEL.TALK tribe Facebook group. I will have it in the show notes for you to click on. And once you are in, you will have your own personal workbook. You will also have some worksheets that are for 2021, finding your purpose, finding your goals and your habits, and just knocking them out of the park and getting them in. And on that, if you ever are looking for hair care products, I am your girl to go to. I sell MONAT, which it has taken me a long time to find a brand that correlates with my beliefs. I am vegan. I don't like any harsh chemicals. I like to be cruelty-free, and this company is incredible. They're all plant-based. They don't have any of those harsh chemicals, that people are starting to take out of their shampoo and conditioners. My hair did not grow for so long, and after using these products for even just a few months, my hair started growing and looking and feeling amazing, and I would get so many compliments now on my hair, which is amazing. If you would like to buy any hair care products, I will also share a link down below to my personal page for MONAT. And if you think you are going to want to buy a lot of stuff, I definitely recommend becoming a VIP member. It is $19.99 for one-time payment, and that is you saying that you will at least spend 3 times within a year, the first year, of $84 and over, and you can set those up when you want them to come. You do get 15% off all your products, and after that first year, then you are golden. You just have to spend $84 once a year, and your subscription, that VIP, will last you that lifetime as long as you just make one purchase of $84 or over every year. And the great thing about this company, something that I really loved and why I connected with them, is that they do have a 30-day back guarantee. So if you don't like a product, you just ship it back to them and you can try a new one. Also, if you go onto my page, they do have a beauty quiz that will ask you questions about your hair, your skin, so that it connects you with the right product. If you ever do need help, please, my email is on there as well. You can email me, and I would love to help guide you to the right hair care products, because I have fallen in love with them, and I hope you do too. And I would also love to share how to use them. I think that was one of my biggest things, is that I did not actually know how to really wash my hair. So especially for these products, you do just get about a quarter size of shampoo, and you do have to wash your hair twice, and then use your conditioner. And you don't use a lot, you use very little amounts, and it lasts you a very long time. So if you are interested in that, please, there will be a link below that you can definitely go to. But that is all that I have for you today, wonderful, beautiful goddesses, queens, and unicorns. I hope you have taken some teachable moments from here. And I would really love your guys' feedback. If you want me to talk about a certain topic, or if something has spoke to you or anything, I would love to hear from you. I love hearing from people. It makes me so happy inside when I've reached someone and they've listened to this, and it's given them some teachable moments, or just anything. So So I hope you all have a magical rest of your week. And I hope you have an amazing year. I know that we are in our second week of this year, and I hope that you guys are all being successful and propelling yourself into this year, because I do believe it's going to be an amazing one. And taking these negative outlooks and turning them into positive, seeing that this is giving us a time to reconnect with people, to find our passions, to find what we love, and to kind of have that time to reconnect with ourselves, reconnect with our families. So all you wonderful goddesses, queens, and unicorns out there, have a magical rest of your week. I will see you next Tuesday with another podcast. So thank you again for coming to Teach, Travel, Talk. And until next time, namaste.